All right, so now that we've reviewed yesterday's reading, we're going to talk about kind of characteristics of equations. So for what I want you to do first here is I'd like you to begin by pausing the video and thinking about an equation. What are the characteristics of just equations in general? So you can look back at the problems you did last night and just look at some of those equations. What do they all have? What are their basics? So pause the video and come up with that. As a class, make a list and then restart the video to check with my answers to yours. So there's 4 basic things in an equation. An equation must have an equal sign, an operation, some operations. They usually have those. They have numbers. They have symbols, if you want to say symbols instead of operations or whatever. And they have variables very often. Now this is not the definition of a variable, these are characteristics of equations. Okay, so we're going to focus on kind of really boiling down to characteristics of different types of equations so that you can recognize how they're going to work out ahead of time, so kind of thinking forward instead of just working out a problem. So now I'd like you to talk about, with your class, what are the characteristics of equations with these 3 different types. So go ahead and just make a chart, maybe on the whiteboard, and just name off what are some characteristics of things that are always unique or always no solution, or all real numbers. So I put 2 examples for each so you could kind of look and see if you could find some common things. And then I want you to start the video and I'm going to give you some specific vocabulary that I want you to use for all your answers. Okay, so pause the video. Alright, now that you're back, we're going to talk about characteristics of each one. And I'm going to start with no solution. So make sure you write this down in your notebook now, because these are going to be the actual answers with the proper vocabulary. So in a no solution, you're going to be looking at the constants. For one, the constants are different. However, the variable terms are the same. And they have, I should say, more than that actually. The variable terms are the same. I want to actually erase that because I want to be more specific. The variable is the same. And also the coefficient. And this is important because this here is the reason that the term variables cancel out, and then because the constants are different, that's how you get your false statement. So similarly, in all real numbers, we have variables the same, the coefficients the same, but this time the constants are also the same. So we're going to write all that down. So constants are the same. The variable is the same. Making sure you both have, G and G and B and B and no X and Y or something. And then the coefficient is the same. And that's important because we have that same effect where the variable and the coefficient are the same on opposite sides, I should say. You need to say it on opposite sides. Forgot about that. On opposite. Because they're only going to cancel if they're opposite. They're the same but on opposite sides. Oops, I forgot the word sides now. And same here, opposite sides. Okay, so same thing, they're going to cancel, and this time since the constants are the same, they'll get a true state. Unique solution is more complicated, and that's why it's unique. You will still have variables the same. That way you come up with an actual answer and not an expression. But both the constants and the coefficients will be different. I mean, the constants may be the same, but the coefficients are certainly different. And everything else kind of doesn't matter because it's key that we have coefficient different, so that different so they don't cancel out. And that's how you end up with a unique solution. And of course, all of these things happen, but they don't always start that way. You might have to use properties to rearrange and simplify before you notice one of these three things. So I want you to be able to notice this right away and not have to show every single step down to that true statement.